Hello there. Thank you for taking a moment to watch this video, and on this specific training we're going to continue our Zapier integration training series, and more specifically we're continuing the PhoneBurner follow-up folder updates where we're monitoring the follow-up folder in PhoneBurner for any changes so that we can update our external system. Again, in our specific example, we're using Google Sheets as our external system, and at this point we have configured our Zap to monitor a specific folder. We even got data flowing over to our Google Sheet, but what we identified when doing that is we may have contacts that have multiple phone numbers, and we want to make sure that we're able to capture all of those phone numbers and log those phone numbers appropriately into separate columns in our Google Sheet. So in our last training, we used a formatter step to separate out the label and the phone numbers from an array into specific line items. And now we're going to take that information to build an object so that we can now start to post that information to our Google Sheet. So let's go ahead and continue. And we're going to add another step between step 2 and 3. And this next step is going to be a code step. So we're going to do code by Zapier. And the event is going to be run JavaScript. Now don't worry, I'm going to give you everything that you need to work through this. So we're going to go ahead and hit continue. And our input is going to be text. So it's important that you actually type text in here. So the input needs to be text. And the data that we're going to insert here is going to be the output from step 2. We're going to take the output text from step 2, not any of the individual line items, but the actual text, that one that we built that has the label, the asterisk, and the phone number, and each one of those is going to be separated by the 3 lines. So we're going to choose that as our data. So now we need to take and insert some code. Again, I'm going to tell you exactly what to put in here. In fact, I've got it built, so I'm going to go ahead and select all this, and I'm going to paste it in here. So this is what we want to do. We want to construct an object, and we're going to take the input that we have up here, and we're going to segment everything based off of those very specific elements that we added, the 3 lines and the 3 asterisks. And then we're going to go ahead and hit continue, and we're going to test the step. And what that should give us is separate outputs for each of the individual items that we'd selected, essentially creating an object of phone numbers. So we've got company phone and a phone number, IVR phone and a phone number. So now, as long as we're very consistent in our labeling of phone numbers in PhoneBurner, we can take advantage of this information and post it to our Google Sheet. Of course, if you're creating custom labels for every phone number, this will create some problems for you down the road, and you'll have to account for each one of those custom labels. But I would imagine if you're taking data outside of an external system and putting it into PhoneBurner, or vice versa, taking it from PhoneBurner to an external system, you've got a very specific set of phone number labels that you're trying to use, and so you can repeat those here. So we're going to go ahead and hit continue. Now we need to post this information to our Google Sheet. Let's jump back over to our Google Sheet. Actually, let me go back to step 3 and go back to our phone number label. So let's say we've got company. Let's change column B from phone to primary phone. So we're very specifically indicating that that's the primary phone in PhoneBurner. And then we're going to add a new column called company phone. And then the other one was IVR phone. Right now, of course, those are just custom labels that I created just so that we could go through this example. I would imagine you're going to be very specific in yours, like company, mobile, office, things like that. So now that we've got those mapped out, we've got those created, let's jump back over to our Zap. We'll go ahead and hit continue. We'll go to our action step in step 4. And we need to get those new fields. So let's refresh our fields. And primary phone should have the primary phone number going into it. And now we want to map the company phone that we just got from our JavaScript code step there. And we want to map our IVR phone to the IVR column in our Google Sheet. And now we've got those phone numbers separated. Remember, we had a big block of phone numbers in step 1 that we got from PhoneBurner. Now we've separated that out and we've added the appropriate labels to them. So it's very easy for us to map those where they need to go. Now again, I will remind you, if you are going to do this, you need to make sure that your labels are very, very consistent. Because if you have contacts with different labels, and I'll give you an example of this. I'm just going to go to my next contact here. You'll see that I've got IVR and direct, which means that when this contact flows from PhoneBurner to Zapier, IVR is going to be a label with a phone number. Direct's going to be a label with a phone number. But we have not built our Zap to deal with a phone number that has a label of direct. So we'd actually need to test with that one. So let's go ahead and hit continue. And let's test this again. Jump over here, and we'll see that it has been segmented out. And that's it for this specific training video. As you know, I like to keep these videos as short and sweet as possible. But make sure that you're plugging into all of the training videos so that you get a firm understanding of everything that you can do with the power of PhoneBurner. Thanks again, and happy dialing.